Imagine this! It's 3 a.m. You're on a dark highway with no cars in sight. Just trees, shadows, and a single stretch of road. Suddenly, the only car behind you switches off its headlights. You can't see them, but you know they're there. Watching. Waiting. What would you do? If your heart is already racing, just picturing that, hit that like button. Subscribe for more chillin' stories. That'll leave you gripping your seat. Because tonight, you're about to hear one of the scariest driving encounters you will never forget. And how a simple twist of fate delivered the perfect revenge. I was 23 years old at the time, riding shotgun while my brother, who was 25, drove us home from the Watershed Festival in Washington. The concert had been incredible. But now, the real challenge was staying awake on the pitch-black highway that cut along the Columbia River Gorge just outside Portland. Picture it! 3 a.m., the kind of dark where even the trees on either side of the road felt like they were pressing in on us. The river ran silently beside the highway, glistening faintly under the moonlight. Not another car in sight, just us. To make things worse, or maybe more atmospheric, we were listening to a true crime podcast. Every gruesome detail from the story the host was telling felt amplified in that empty night. And then it happened. A pair of headlights appeared up ahead. At first, it was almost comforting, like maybe we weren't so alone. But then, as soon as they noticed us, the car did something strange. Their right blinker flashed, and they pulled over onto the shoulder. My brother glanced at me, confused. That's weird, he muttered. I tried to brush it off. Maybe they just don't like cars behind them. You know how some drivers get paranoid? But my gut twisted. Because the second they pulled off, they pulled right back onto the road. This time, behind us. And then, they sped up. Not just a little. They were flying, closing the gap until their headlights were burning into our rear window. My pulse quickened. Okay, that's not normal, my brother muttered, gripping the wheel tighter. Then, in a sudden move, they swerved into the left lane, pulled ahead of us, and cut back sharply in front. I tried to laugh it off, like maybe they were just being reckless. But my skin was prickling. Something about this wasn't random. And I was right. Because the second they cut in front, their blinker flashed again. They pulled over. Stopped. We drove past. And now it was their turn to follow. The highway was empty. No exits, no towns, no way to escape. Just endless road and one car that seemed intent on toying with us. Stay in the left lane, I told my brother, trying to keep my voice calm. We passed them, and sure enough, they pulled back out again. I watched them in the rearview mirror as they gained on us. And then, their headlights went out. The rear view turned to pure black. Every hair on my arms stood up. My stomach dropped. My skin went cold. They turned off their lights. I whispered. My brother's jaw tightened. He said nothing, but his knuckles were white on his teeth. Silence was on. Where were they? Were they still behind us? Were they pulling up closer without us knowing? And then, the blind spot moment revealed. The car was right beside us, invisible until the warning system screamed. In that instant, they flipped their lights back, flooding our car with blinding beams. And then they sped past, vanishing into the night like some kind of predator toying with its prey. My heart was hammering so loudly I could barely hear anything. But just when I thought the nightmare was about to escalate, salvation appeared. Another set of headlights appeared in the distance, approaching from behind. The moment those new headlights came into view, the creepy car disappeared. We never saw them again. And I swear, the relief that washed over me in that moment was unlike anything I'd ever felt. Now here's the part that makes this story satisfying. See, I've replayed that night 100 times. And every time, I realize something. Whoever was in that car thought they were the hunters. They thought they could stalk us, scare us, maybe worse. But when that second car appeared, they panicked. they weren't so brave anymore. Their little game ended instantly. Karma showed up on that highway in the form of an unsuspecting driver, and it sent our would-be tormentors running into the dark. They wanted control. They wanted fear. But in the end, they got exposed and humiliated. To this day, I don't know if it was bored teenagers or something darker. But what I do know is this. People who try to intimidate others eventually get caught in their own games. That night taught me something. Sometimes revenge doesn't come from you. It comes from the universe itself. If this story gave you chills, smash that like button. And tell me in the comments, what is the creepiest thing that ever happened to you on the road? I'd love to read your stories. And of course, subscribe for more terrifying tales that'll keep you awake tonight.